Worksheet and workbook organization. Good organization is important with just about everything. Yet the more complex and full your worksheet and/or workbook becomes, the more vital it is to have your material organized well so that you can easily refer back to it for information, easily enter new data into it, and make your life less difficult when you're trying to come up with a formula to calculate information based upon your data. For example, you may not want to scatter sources for a particular formula or calculation all over your worksheet. You may want to have them kind of organized into one place. So you need to start thinking about that early on. Because of this, you're going to want to really plan for your worksheets before you start. Think about how best to group certain types of data, as well as to consider where the items of greatest priority will appear. If you're planning a worksheet that will be shared by others, you not only have to consider what makes the best organizational sense for yourself, but what will be relatively easy for others to comprehend. Those of you still more accustomed to working on paper may feel more comfortable sketching out a basic organizational plan for your worksheet before you start. However, as you work through the series of tutorials, you'll discover that it's quite easy to move whole columns and rows around, as well as to insert blank rows and columns where needed. For example, let's assume this worksheet has forgotten to include something like another source of family income. Thus, we need another row before we get to the subtotal. So let me show you how I would insert a row. I'd select the row, I'd right-click, and I'd press Insert. And now I've got an additional row where I can type in a different source of income, such as garage rental. That easy. So you don't have to worry. You can go back and change things as needed. This means that you can begin to work directly in the worksheet itself and edit as you go. Excel is pretty forgiving, and you'll learn through the series of tutorials how easy it is to make changes. So do think of good workbook organization, but understand that your organization doesn't have to be perfect to start with because you can move things around later on.